the whispering oak of Dodona. In the shadowed embrace of Epirus, where the mountains wept mist, there stood the sacred grove of Dodona. Unlike any other oracle in Greece, Dodona did not rely on the cryptic mutterings of a priestess in a dimly lit chamber. Instead, wisdom flowed from an ancient oak tree, whose rustling leaves and murmuring branches carried the voice of Zeus himself. The first to hear the whispers of the mighty oak were the Selwa, a barefooted, earth-bound people who worshipped the gods with fervent hearts. They had no lavish temples nor grand statues, only the mighty oak, which they adorned with brazen cauldrons and sacred relics. Each clang of bronze against bronze, each tremor of leaf upon leaf, carried the will of the king of Olympus. One day, a humble traveler named Aeson arrived at the grove, weary from his long journey. He had spent years wandering from oracle to oracle, seeking a divine answer to his troubled soul. His kingdom had been usurped, his people scattered, and his family lost to the cruelty of men. He had nothing left but a desperate plea and the hope that Zeus would listen. As Aeson approached the grove, he was met by an elder priest of the Selwa, a man whose skin was leathered by the sun, his hair as silver as the cauldrons that adorned the sacred tree. The priest, named Thespius, studied the traveler with quiet interest. "You come seeking answers," Thespius murmured, his voice carrying the weight of years. "But the whispers of the oak do not yield easily. You must listen not with your ears but with your soul." Aeson nodded, swallowing his exhaustion. "I have lost everything," he confessed. "My kingdom, my family. I have searched for answers in the temples of Delphi, in the caves of Parnassus, and in the halls of Corinth. But I have found only riddles and silence." Thespius inclined his head. "Then you have not listened truly. The gods do not give simple answers. They guide, they nudge, they weave fate with hints on the wind. Come and kneel before the oak. Let the breath of Zeus find you." Aeson hesitated only a moment before stepping forward. The tree was ancient, its bark gnarled and thick with time. Bronze cauldrons hung from its branches, swaying gently in the breeze, their ringing like distant chimes of fate. He knelt before the oak, pressing his hands to the cool earth beneath it. The grove fell silent. Even the birds seemed to hush their songs. The wind, once playful, now moved with purpose, rustling the leaves in a rhythm that seemed almost deliberate. Aeson closed his eyes, willing himself to hear beyond the natural sounds. Then, like the first drops of rain before a storm, a voice began to form. "You seek what was taken, but what was lost was not yours to keep." Aeson's breath hitched. The voice was neither loud nor soft, neither male nor female. It was everywhere and nowhere, existing in the rustling leaves, in the distant clang of bronze, in the very breath of the earth. "Who speaks?" he whispered. "I am the wind that moves the boughs. I am the voice in the leaves. I am the will of Zeus." Aeson clenched his fists. "Then tell me, how do I reclaim my birthright? How do I take back my kingdom?" The oak groaned as if shifting under the weight of unseen knowledge. The lion does not seek vengeance upon the river for stealing its reflection. The wise man does not mourn a path never meant to be walked. Aeson gritted his teeth. "You speak in riddles as all oracles do. If my fate is not to reclaim my throne, then what is it? Tell me." A sudden gust of wind whipped through the grove, setting the cauldrons swinging wildly. The Selwa priests, standing in reverence, did not move, their faces impassive as they observed the gods' will unfold. The leaves shuddered, and then the voice returned, stronger and deeper. "Your path does not lead back but forward. The past is a river that has already flowed into the sea. Seek not to turn its course but to sail upon new waters. To look behind is to be swallowed by the tide." Aeson felt something shift within him. The desperation that had weighed upon him like a millstone now loosened, if only slightly. He had spent so long mourning what was lost, he had not considered what could still be gained. The voice softened, its final words carried like a gentle breeze. "The storm has passed, but the voyage remains. walk your path and the gods shall guide your steps. Silence settled once more over the grove. The wind faded into stillness, the leaves rustled no longer and the cauldrons hung in quiet repose. Aeson opened his eyes, his heart pounding. Thespius stepped forward, placing a hand on his shoulder. Do you understand now? Aeson let out a slow breath. I think I do. I have been fighting the current, demanding the gods return what was taken. But they would not. Perhaps because my future lies elsewhere. The elder priest nodded. Then you have truly listened. With newfound resolve, Aeson rose from his knees. He did not leave with a map or a decree but with faith. Faith in the voice of the oak, faith in his own destiny. He would reclaim what was his not by force alone, but by wisdom guided by the unseen hand of Zeus. The whispers of the oak did not end with Aeson. They continued through the ages, guiding kings, heroes and wanderers alike. Even as time wove its inexorable path, as new temples rose and old gods faded, the sacred grove of Dodona stood, its branches sighing with the eternal wisdom of the divine. And so it was said, those who sought truth found it not in the clamoring voices of men, nor in the marble halls of kings, but in the quiet rustling of leaves, in the breath of the wind, in the whispers of an ancient oak that had stood since the dawn of the world.